This is a tying demonstration for the foam hopper kit size 10, and in the kit you will receive foam bodies. Whichever color you chose, there'll be enough to tie 10 flies. Hooks are also included. You'll receive enough material to create the legs for the fly. Also elk. This is going to create the back wing. And an indicator strip. And this will just form as a cap. And that way there you can see the fly a little bit better on the water. So this is the foam hopper, size 10. This is the brown and tan. And so this will be the one we'll demonstrate for the kit for you today. Alright, let's get to tying this fly. Okay, to start off this fly, we'll do it just like any other fly. We'll start off with a thread base. So we'll work all the way up to top of the shank by the eye of the hook. Another little tip here is I try to keep the point of the hook away from the front of this vise, and that way there you won't clip your thread off. You'll learn pretty quick that it happens a lot, and if you're into any detailed work while you're tying flies, then you'll have to retie on, and sometimes you have materials that you've just attached and everything just comes all undone and it's a mess. So it's just a good idea. Alrighty, now that we're down to the end here, what we're going to do is we want to get our two little body pieces here. You'll notice that there's two long stems here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these off. Pretty level with the head, so it kind of looks like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the dark piece. It doesn't matter, you could have the light piece down and the dark piece on top. I'm just going with dark brown on the bottom. And we'll do a few thread wraps. And we'll go around the foam this way. And that will actually help tighten it up a bit. The other thing is, if you use too thin of thread, I'm using a 70 here, which is a little bit thinner than I would like to use. But what can happen is you can cut the foam in two. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a little super glue on the back here, and we're going to glue this top piece of foam on. Okay, so get yourself a little super glue, or if you prefer to use something else, that's fine. To put on a pretty good coat here. Okay, now you just want to line up your body pieces so they line up fairly well. And just kind of push and hold them there for a second. That way there the super glue will set up a bit. Okay, and with a couple of thread wraps, we'll start to make the segments of the hopper. So here is tail section, and Needs a little more time on the super glue here. Alright, now what you want to do is just wind your thread forward until you just get to this point right here. And I gotta come up just a little bit more. Okay. Oh, there we go. So we'll do a few thread wraps there. Now what I like to do is roll the fly over and put just a little super glue on the thread wraps in with the foam. And then this way here the foam won't spin. This is probably the #1 bluegill fly I will go with in probably late spring, all through the summer. The fall these work very well. Smallmouth bass like them as well. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to just trim up a few pieces of our leg material here, and just remember you don't want to go too long, as you have 10 flies in the kit and you may run out of material, or if you have other colored rubber legs that you'd like to use, you could use those. So what I like to do is just turn the fly on the side. If you don't have a rotary vise, you can just hold it on the side like this, and just a few loose thread wraps. Kind of get them on the center. That looks good there. And I'm just going to roll my vise up just for saving a bit of time. Okay. So we got our legs done here. Starting to come together. This leg here has got a little funky hook to it, but it's okay. Alright, the next thing that you want to do is you just want a little bit of this elk hair. You don't really need much. You know, you've never really seen a grasshopper on the water that's floating along with a huge wing coming off of it. Generally it's just them floating along kicking. So once you've got your elk hair combined and pretty much straightened up, you want it a little bit messy back here. I want to put a couple of thread wraps there. Just secure it. We'll come up and we'll just clean this up a bit. Get some of that bulk out of there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little super glue here. Just so the fish don't pull the elk hair out. Okay, now with your indicator strip, depending on how large you want your indicator, you could, cut it this way. and save a bit, or just take off a little slice like I am. And put it on top of your fly, kind of central. Oh, I think we got one of our legs trapped here. Yeah, we did. No big deal. There again, if you want your indicator a little bit bigger, you can do so. I like to keep them a little on the small side. Okay, and that pretty much completes our fly. We'll throw a few half hitches on here. We'll straighten things up a bit. Let's see. You can always hold your legs together like this. If they're not even, just trim them up. So it looks a little longer. So we'll cut them down a bit. Okay. There we go. Now we'll trim the back of the hopper just a bit and give it a kind of a tapered back to it. And something like this, and you have a little bit of gap here. Sometimes these will tend to fall and land this way, but the first time you strip it back, it will come up and float this way. Sometimes if it's really windy, I'll tie a bead in here so it will land.